I'm doing another comparison between a drugstore and a high-end. This time it's eyeshadow. My eyes, I don't know if you can tell, but they are like a gray blue, and I really like wearing like taupey gray colors and slate colors to emphasize my eyes. So grays are a big huge staple in my eye makeup collection. I'm actually wearing some right now, although this lighting doesn't really tell. But anyways, so I thought I would compare drugstore and high-end. I've worn them both quite a bit. These two eyeshadow shades I'm going to show you. And so I'm going to talk about staying power, pigmentation, color, etc. So the drugstore is the Wet n Wild Color Icon. This is, the shade is Lust, and there we go. You can kind of tell that's the gray color. It's really, really beautiful. You can't really tell with the lighting, but it doesn't have an individual name, but there's that one. And then the high-end gray I'm going to review is from a palette as well, because all my grays are in palettes. But this is the Urban Decay Naked in Gunmetal, and you can kind of see the sparkles in that. Yeah, so both of these eyeshadows are super pigmented. This is the Wet n Wild, and that one is the Urban Decay. So if you see next to each other, they're both like super pigmented. And when you, let's see, I wiped it on my hand, and this one is actually the Wet n Wild, the one that's even more pigmented, and this sheer one is the Urban Decay. The Urban Decay Gunmetal has like flecks of glitter in it, and the Wet n Wild just has like shimmer. Yeah, so I've worn them both with primer. I usually don't wear eyeshadow without primer, and yeah, they both wear really well. So just in terms of pigmentation and wearing time, I would say that between this one and this one, it is a toss-up. Complete tie. What I will say is I love this palette. Don't get me wrong, this is my favorite palette. Well, one of them. But this is like $3, and all 6 of these shades are like super pigmented. Those are like the purples and pinks, which you can't really tell. I tried. Yeah, all of these shadows are super pigmented, and they're super cheap. And I would actually pick, I am wearing this gray on my eyes right now. Between the two, I personally would pick this gray just because I don't like the chunks of glitter in the other one. There's a lot more potential for fallout. And these, there isn't as much with the Wet n Wild. Wet n Wild has definitely come a long way in their formulation, and all of these color icon shadows, all the shades that they have are great, and this is my favorite palette just because I really like purples. But yeah, these are really soft, but they're not like too soft. I've had troubles with a lot of like cheaper eyeshadows like e.l.f. being just too soft and just muddy, but these blend really well. So yeah, so final verdict is toss up with a slight lean towards the Wet n Wild. If you haven't checked these out, I definitely would, even if you're not into colors, like bright colors, I mean. These work really well for neutrals. Like, I have a kind of a neutral dark eye look going here, and I just used the gray. I actually only used one color today. But if you don't like as much, you could just use like one of these pinks, and then just like maybe a slight tap of this like plum, which is really pretty. I don't know if it will show up, but that's a plum. You can't tell. With just a light dusting, because these are really super pigmented, of the gray or the plum with really pretty burgundy sparkles in it. And another thing to note is that this side are all matte, and this side is all shimmer, which is really cool. So you have a mix-up. I don't wear matte shadows very often, but this has kind of inspired me to. And if you don't like shimmer as much, it's really good. And all of the color icon palettes are like that. Anyways, so thank you for watching. Bye. You can see the swatches on my hand. And nope, this hand too. Okay. Bye.